Hi, everyone. My name is Patty Huber, and I worked at the Department of Industrial Relations for 25 plus years. My most recent role there was an assistant chief. For the last 10 years of my employment there, I spent much of my time bringing units onto the Salesforce platform. And that included our Bureau of Field Enforcement over at the Labor Commissioner's Office, our licensing and registration, and most importantly, our wage claim unit. And I shouldn't forget retaliation claims, but most importantly, our wage claim. We spent a lot of time ensuring that our wage claims were appropriately handled, and we receive over 30,000 claims a year at the California Labor Commissioner's Office. So that became really important. And so we were putting our unit on the Salesforce platform. And during that time, I had the pleasure of working with an incredible vendor called ProPoint Technology. After I retired in 2023, I started working with ProPoint as an executive advisor to their labor solutions practice and have really enjoyed that new role. And I also get to stay in touch with some of my folks over at the Department of Industrial Relations, and you will learn more from them in a little bit. And so today we will talk about case issues and wage claim summary report. Salesforce can be an asset when it comes to managing a large volume of wage claims. It's fully customizable to the needs of various labor departments, as seen with the various features of the platform that processes our online wage claims. COVID presented challenges that really made us look at the way we handled wage claim processing in California. Our constituents could not come into the office to file their claims. We were having issues getting those claims online, as well as keeping our own staff safe and allowing for remote work a large majority of the time. We determined that an online wage claim portal would not only allow the claimants to be able to file those claims online, it would also be able to allow staff to be able to process those claims more easily online. It also allows labor departments to handle high volumes of wage claims being filed, and management of the claim can be handled from inception to closure. As I said before, over 30,000 wage claims per year are filed in California, and we're at 70%, at least as of the time that I left in 2023, 70% of those claims are now being filed by the public online. Prior to using the Salesforce platform, we were a highly manual, very siloed system in California. And so for wage claims, we had 16 different wage claim offices, and each of those offices had their own database that they were using. And so you couldn't see at a glance whether somebody had filed a claim in Bakersfield and also filed that same claim in Sacramento until the employer notified us. So that was very important to combine all of the wage claims that were being filed in California. In-person filing was happening a lot prior to COVID, and the online platform allowed folks to file their claims, and the platform is very user-friendly. We have lots of information to help the online filers be able to get through that form easily. The tangible benefits for the user just cannot be overstated. The user can check their claim where they're at, they can see where it has been filed, and they can also see whether they have any meetings upcoming, any conferences or hearings that they need to attend. We no longer had paper that we were having to track in our wage claim offices. So being able to see the claim and work the claim online allows for better management of a claim. And also our supervisors were not in the office all the time either, so they can easily see what's going on with any particular claim. It allows folks to be fully remote, and it also allows for less rework of a claim. What we're going to be demonstrating today is fully on the Salesforce platform. The pain points that we were able to identify early on allowed us to be able to customize a build that would solve some of those pain points. The community portal, for example, that's what I was talking about earlier, that allows a claimant to be able to not only file their own claim, but to track the progress of their claim. There are internal workflows. For example, when a claim comes into the office and it gets assigned to a deputy, the status of the claim is automatically updated. And that happens many times throughout the life of a claim when there's a conference scheduled or when there's a hearing scheduled. The other thing that happened with the online claim project was that we allowed for text messaging. So the employees and the parties get notice of any upcoming conferences or hearing via text messaging. It also allows for us to communicate with our constituents or our claimants using text messaging to ask for ad hoc things. You know, we noticed that your mail came back and maybe we need a new address for you, so we can easily text message to get that. There is also an e-signature. We joined the 21st century and allowed for e-signatures, which had not been done previously. We allowed for data integration with third parties. There are API accesses so that if a union has a large volume of claims that they want to file at once, they can do that via an API. We have dashboards that we can easily see at an office level, at your own case level, or at a higher management level, what's going on in any individual office or the program statewide. And then we also allowed for document storage. We no longer have those paper files that those papers had to be uploaded and have to exist someplace because we still need access to forms and other notifications. And so having that storage capacity has been key to, as you can imagine, 30,000 claims a year, how much paper that generated in the past and how many documents still need to be uploaded. Now, saying all that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it to a coworker of mine in the past who is still at DIR, Gurvinder.
Okay, so hello, my name is Gurvinder Kandola. I am a senior deputy for the Labor Commissioner's Office here in the state of California. I've worked for the Labor Commissioner's Office since 2016, and I've been part of various special projects involving the IT side and the business side since November 2020, which is exactly when the online wage claim platform began, and was a leading subject matter expert on the development of each step of the online wage claim process for the Labor Commissioner's Office. This is a case I was submitted with 3 case issues. We have the 2 related parties that we confirmed, and let me just refresh my page so you can see that case roll number change from 0 to 2. So now we have 2 active case rolls on this wage claim case, one being the defendant, one being the claimant. And then next, we would want to review the case issues, which currently have a status of hold on that right-hand side of the screen. And these are kind of in purgatory until they're reviewed by somebody within the office to verify accuracy, making sure that the claim is within the statute, and that we have all applicable information before we confirm these case issues as being open and potential liabilities on the case itself. So how do we open those case issues? The user would go up to this case issue engine button here, and then they'll have access to all the different claims that an individual could make with our office. So we have this list that you can scroll up and down, and if further down the screen, we have the issues that were claimed by the person filing the claim, and we can see the information that they had entered on the online wage claim from the user side, and it comes across to our office and automatically is input into those fields as applicable. So all that we would have to do is review this mileage claim and make sure that it kind of makes sense. And then we have the waiting time penalty claim, making sure that the date of discharge is correct, and we can match it up to the wage claim summary report, which I'll show you in a second. And we can fill in the blanks as we need to. We are able to contact the claimant and ask them exactly how they got to $150 per day, or recalculate as necessary. So if we call them and find out it's actually 140, we can make edits right here for them in this screen. And there we have the third case issue, which we'll just presume is accurate. If I happen to talk to the claimant and find out that we need to add a commissions claim or any of these other claims that we have, you can simply add them at this time and they'll become case issues once I confirm them. You can also remove some of these issues if they're not relevant. So maybe the person was only simply claiming that they were paid late, but they were unsure of how to fill out the form, so they've accidentally claimed a vacation, or maybe that they received just their vacation already. You can just click remove and it will get rid of that case issue and we won't need to confirm it. For now, if everything looks accurate, I would go down here, check this box just to confirm that I reviewed the case issues and begin to assign them to a defendant or multiple defendants on this case. For this specific case, we only have the one defendant. We can select the test 1, 2, 3, and we could choose the basis for the liability of the defendant. So typically it will be employer liability for corporations. In California, we have different aspects of the labor code that we can hold people liable for. For instance, an individual could be liable through labor code section 558.1. So if there was an additional defendant who was an individual, we could select the applicable type of liability. Once that's been selected, we would simply press finish assessing case issues, and those case issues should change from the status previously of hold and switch over to a status of open. And you can see right here in this column, we have those same 3 case issues from earlier. We now have amounts for the part that was assessed. This previously was a 0 because we didn't want a liability amount before reviewing those case issues, and status for all 3 is now open. The case issues will create a liability, and that liability shows, it'll attach to a liable party, which is going to be typically the defendant or defendants, so you could have multiple liable parties. And you can see via this assessment exactly which case issues are attached to which liability. So here we have those 3. So every time we go into that case issues engine and create a issue or set of issues, it creates a new liability each time. And you can kind of mix and match which case issues can attach to which defendant. So it could be multiple, it could be just one. If one defendant is only liable for a portion of the wage claim, you can mix and match that way. Well, I guess the opportunities are in essence endless. There could be an infinite number of ways you can add on claims and mix around who is liable for what aspect of the claim. So everything that the claimant had provided in the initial filing of the claim, all those boxes that they had filled out, we grabbed that information and put it into a PDF. And then that is available for any user within our office to review via this files section here on the quick links. You can hover over it, you can click it, and it'll show the wage claim summary report. And once we click on that, it will give us a PDF view of each of those sections that were filled out on the online wage claim form. And you can see it in a nice, neat wage claim summary report, which can be printed, could be saved to the desktop. It'll be always available on the case itself. And you can review this and compare it to the claims that were made. So here we have a date of discharge. We have it in another section here. And if they don't match, you can kind of ask that question if you need to. It's a nice, neat way for someone just to get a quick snapshot of the entire claim and kind of get an idea of what the staff member will be dealing with in processing the claim. And before they reach out by email or by phone to the claimant or maybe the defendant, they kind of already have an idea of what is being claimed and a story of the claim before speaking to the applicable party.
This concludes our demo presentation of ProPoint's Labor Solutions. a case issues and wage claim summary report solution for the California Department of Industrial Relations. Thank you so much for joining. Stay tuned for upcoming videos in this series.